Everyone, this is Lucien for Out of This Binary, and this week we are talking about mental health. This is a very big and important topic because mental health among the trans community is known to be really bad. In fact, I don't really know any trans person who has like a good mental health. I'm one of them. I'm diagnosed with depression. I have anxiety issues. I have dermatillomania, which is kind of a thing where I pick my skin all the time and it gets ugly. And I have recently found out I am probably autistic. I mean, I don't have a formal diagnosis, but I have taken the official test people use for diagnosis in the US, and my score is consistent with autism. Yay! Amazing. So, yeah. When I started finding out I was trans, it was during like a very, very big depression. I had just graduated college, so I had a lot of free time to think about things. And I just had this feeling that something was really, really wrong with me, but I couldn't find out what it was. And then I started like exploring my mind and thinking a lot, like a lot. And it was a thing I had some suspicion before, but I didn't know what trans was. So when I found out, I was like, oh, maybe that's the thing that's wrong. It's my gender. And it was really hard for me. I had no one to talk to. I had no one to be there with me. No one who knew what that was. So it was a pretty lonely time when I was just thinking and thinking and thinking. And I knew I wasn't a boy, but I was 23 years old. And I was like, okay, am I a girl? Because 23 years of getting used to be treated as a girl and be seen as a girl, it kind of convinces you that you are a girl. But so, it was so hard. It was a really hard time for me. And yeah, I was exploring it on my own, and I didn't know how to communicate that with people. Now I am in a much different place. I feel so much more empowered about myself. I know so much more about myself. But that doesn't mean my mental health is good. Because now I have started to come out, there are different questions, different things happening. Like, it's not just about finding out who I am, but it's about living as who I am, which is so much harder because it doesn't just involve you, it involves all the other people, and you know how other people can be awkward when it comes to this. So when it comes to my mental health, the word that comes to me is fear. I fear how the future will be. I fear what will happen to the relationships I have today. I fear how things are going to be. I fear making the wrong choices. I fear choosing something. I fear choosing something that has bad consequences for me, and that maybe I will find out it was not the right thing. I fear never finding out who I am. I fear harming people I love. I fear be demanding too much of them. I fear asking them to make changes in their life just because of me. I always think I'm not worth it. And it's so hard. It's so many things to be afraid, and I'm aware of all of those little things all the time. Oh, it's terrible. It's exhausting. Now I'm coming out, and that's a huge step for me. But I fear it's not enough to just be as I am. Every day I feel more like I have to transition. I have to do something. I have to get top surgery. I maybe have to get hormones. I don't know. I'm not sure about that because there are so many things involved. And this whole idea of transitioning, of making changes in my life, it's so overwhelming because it fills me with uncertainty, especially because of my girlfriend, because I don't know what's going to happen to us. She's dealing with it so much better than before, but she's not dealing extremely fine. And we have been together for a long, long time. And I am afraid because I have never ended up such a long relationship before. And I am afraid of both ways, of either transitioning and being with her and having to deal with her, or transitioning and breaking up and how it's going to affect me, because I don't know if I am strong enough to deal with everything. I don't know. I just don't know. Oh. And then my mind starts like going round and round and round. And it feels like I'm going insane. Because I don't know where I want to get with transition. And at the same time, I don't know. It feels like I have to defend things I want. Like, if I have top surgery, even though I'm not 100% sure, I have to seem sure of what I want. Because there are so many people saying, oh, you should do this, and you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't do that. And I have to stand up for myself. But but at the same time, I'm not sure. I am filled with doubt and uncertainty. And I can't talk openly to anyone because if they see my doubt, if they see I'm not sure, maybe they will use it against me. Because I know these people don't understand what we are going through. And I'm okay with that. And probably they don't mean to be harming us, but I am so afraid to be opening up with all of my uncertainty and maybe having these people telling me things that it's not what I need. I don't know if it makes sense, but it's so confusing in my mind, and it being so confusing, it makes it even worse because I can't like isolate my feelings from the rest, my feelings from consequences they will have, and so I don't really know what I really want, what's really the best for me. And just, I am this kind of person who needs to be fucking sure of what I want. I need to have some internal certainty of what I'm doing. Even if it's like getting a tattoo, I need to know that's what I want. And even in a serious thing like transitioning, you can't do this. It's so overwhelming. I'm sorry. I'm just rambling. Okay, let's move on to the next topic because I think we are not getting any further here. Another thing that I feel all the time is loneliness. Not only because I know really few trans people and I don't interact with them really often, but also because even among the trans community and the trans people I know, I don't see people like me. I don't know, everyone seems more binary. I don't know, they all seem different. I have like one or two YouTubers that I felt like, oh, it's a person like me. It's a person I can have as a model. And even then, it's like a sort of model. They are not as exactly like me, and it feels so lonely. I don't have the image of where I want to get with my transition. I don't have someone who makes me feel safe. Like, I know there are people out there like me, but I just don't know any of them yet. It feels like I have to look for and to look for and to look for them everywhere, and not finding and knowing I probably won't find anyone. And it feels so desperately lonely. It's just like I was going into a land without a map, and it was all dark, and I had just no clue of where I'm going. I just had to keep going, and sometimes I just don't have the energy to be so unsure. I just wish I had like a candle, something to light away even a little bit. And again, there is no one I can talk that, I don't know, that has something to offer for me, like maybe you should do this and maybe you should do that, some advice, some good advice. This is why I'm so reluctant to start going to therapy. It's because I know it will be good for me, but I know probably the therapist won't be able to offer me the advice I need. And fuck, all I needed was a little bit of advice. I'm so sorry. I get a little emotional when talking about this because it's so much of a thing for me. I'm so into this moment of my life and not knowing what I have to do next. And this whole thing of being an adult and being a trans adult and having to grow into something you don't see out there, so overwhelming. And that leads us to another thing I had in mind to talk. That is, it's a feeling I have. It's so related to my depression. It's this feeling of being too much for people, being like too heavy, because I try to keep things for myself as much as possible, even though sometimes I know that's not healthy, but I feel kind of guilty of bothering people with my issues and being always sad. And this is something some people have complained about me, that I'm always sad. I'm not always sad. I try to be happy. I try to be positive, of course. And sometimes I manage, but there is always this sadness inside of me. And people can see it. People can see I'm not 100% okay. And I know it's bad because, first, because no one wants to be with someone who is sad all the time. And second, because people do worry about you. People love you. I know it makes them worried, and I just wish I wasn't making them worry about me. I wish everything was okay, but I know it's not, and I feel so guilty. I can't get better, like faster. I know I'm doing what I can, and I know I'm working on getting better as much as I can, and I know it's a long-term process. It's not like, overnight I'm going like, whoa, to feel super happy again. Even though I am on medication, there are things that you have to work inside yourself when it comes to mental illness. And it's not really helpful because I see I am harming people. My girlfriend, for example, I know it is too heavy for her to deal. She tells me this, and I can see it's making her sick. She's getting depressed too. And I hate be harming someone I love so much. So I kind of enter into a process that I consciously know it's not healthy. But again, I don't know how to deal better with it. I know me being sad and me being like this harms people. So I shut down. I just don't talk to people. I don't open up. I don't talk about my feelings. I don't share things with them. And this is not healthy for me because sharing things and talking to people, even though they can't offer all the help I need, it makes me feel better. Sharing is good for us, and not sharing, it kind of feels like everything is trapped inside, and I feel even lonelier. But I don't know how to deal better with it. I can't be harming people as much as I am, and so I act as if everything was fine. I sometimes open up a little bit, but never as much as I wanted, never as much as I needed, and I just play along as if everything was okay enough. And it's not. I don't know if people believe it or if it's convenient for them to pretend they believe it, but the fact is that no one really comes to me and says, okay, something is clearly wrong with you, and tries to help. I think I'm the wrong one demanding this from people, but I don't know, sometimes I just wish people would care and would like come to me and try to dig a little deeper, and it's not so deep. You can see I'm here on the internet crying and talking all my stuff. I don't know, I just wish sometimes people would care more about me, but I know I can't demand this from people when I insist so much in shutting down. So it's something I really have to work on myself, because I am aware that this is not getting me anywhere, and it's so exhausting to be going through this. And I have been on medication for a year now, but I have been on this whole mental process for more than 2 years, I think, and I have depression since I was a child. So I have never been like a very super happy person. There's always this sadness, there's always this thing inside me, and I don't know if it's ever going to go away. I don't know who I am without it. I don't know if there is a me without it, or if that's just some part of who I am that is going to be there forever. And I'm so afraid of the idea that it's going to be there forever. It's exhausting. It's exhausting that there's always an issue, either if it's gender or something else. I just wish things could be fine. I just wish it didn't have to be so hard on me or on any one of us. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't really have any advice to offer you. Just look for help. I am trying to look for help. I'm trying to get over myself and look for help, even though it's not like the perfect help, because there is no such thing as perfect help. I wanted, but there are people out there who can help us get better. And yeah, we have to try. We have to try, even though we can't ever be sure it is going to work. We don't know what is going to happen, and I think this is part of life, not knowing what happens. This is part of being an adult. There is no road of life you have to follow. You have to build your own road, and this is so hard because there is nothing to assure you it is going to be okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry. This video is not happy, but it's mental health. We just kind of knew it wouldn't be happy, but I hope you can relate to it somehow. I hope it's useful somehow for you, and thank you so much for watching. And today is the last day of the year. Have a nice, happy new year. I hope 2016 is going to be much better than this year, and I and every one of you are going to achieve so many things and get better and be happier, because we do deserve to be happy. So bye bye, take care, and please leave comments below if you feel like leaving comments below. Yay!